How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. In today's video, we are going to start putting the SRT-4 back together after you saw it come out of paint in the last video. I'm going to get the doors, all the interior put together, get the glass reinstalled, and get this thing 100% reassembled and make it look like a brand new SRT-4 once again. So let's jump right into it and get that thing put together. Alrighty guys, so I went through and cavity waxed all the rockers and all the crevices on the undercarriage of this vehicle, so we should have no issues with corrosion in the future. Knowing that it came from Alabama, there's never any, rain or anything down there. It's very dry. I'll never drive this car in the salt or the rain or anything up here, so I'm not really concerned about it, but just because of the moisture and the climate we have up here, I am a little bit concerned about, any moisture getting down in the pinch welds and whatnot. So I went through and cavity waxed the whole thing, the bottoms of the doors, all the channels underneath the kind of frame structure of the underbody. So we should be good. Now that that's all cavity waxed, I'm gonna start putting the rocker moldings back on. Got those painted with the rest of the car. So I have the little fasteners that go in the back on the quarter here in the car. So I want to get those put on, and I'm going to pull the wheels off so we can get the moldings put on and get the screws put back in. But we should start seeing this thing looking like an SRT-4 once again after those moldings go on. For all this extra cavity wax here, I'm just going to take a little bit of wax and grease remover and wipe down the areas where it kind of dripped out of the holes and where it's dripped out of the bottom of the doors, so we don't get that, showing anywhere. We don't want to be seeing that. It's unsightly, but we want it to do its job. Change out the bottom half of the main airbox here. Got a new one here from the dealer. This tab is broken off here, so there's a hole in the bottom of the box. I'm going to disconnect all the boost solenoids here, move this bracket out of the way, and then I'm going to separate the upper cover from the lower box, get this cover out of the way. It's all on 8mm bolts all the way around. Get that out of the way, disconnect the wiring and the vacuum tubes that are on the bottom half of the box in the back and in the middle of it here. Separate it from the intake pipe to the turbo and get this thing out, get the new one put in, and get everything put back together. Guys, so taking a brief break from the exterior work, that new left front fender liner that came in from the dealer is wrong. It looks like it's for a regular neon, not an SRT-4. The bottom half where it goes behind the fender over here and between the rocker molding is different. It has the little mudguard section that a regular neon would have to protect the bottom of the fender. Obviously that can't fit on this car, so I'm gonna have to reach back out to the dealer and see, firstly, if that part is still available, and secondly, if it is, I will get it. Taking a break from that for the moment. Gonna come on the inside and get the steering wheel removed so I can put the new clock spring in. I have a clock spring from one of my other Neons when I did the cruise control addition to it. It requires a different clock spring, so I still have the clock spring from that car, which is exactly the same as this one, with just the airbag connector and the horn connector, no cruise control or anything. The part numbers match up, so it will fit this car. First, what we have to do is pull the main centering bolt out of here, and once we have that out, we're going to need a steering wheel puller that'll thread into this hole, and it will center on the column shaft in the middle, and it'll allow us to pull the steering wheel off of the column. And once we have that off, we'll be able to remove the upper and lower shroud on the column to give us access to the clock spring in the back. And I'll record all that so you can see how it's done. I'm sure most of you guys watching the video have already done something of this caliber, gotten the steering wheels off these cars, but just for fun, we're gonna go through the process and show you how it's done. Just a little bit of Loctite on there holds it in, makes it a little bit tough to get out, but no big deal. I'm gonna thread the bolt back in by hand so that the puller has something to push against once it's in there. I don't want the center of the puller going in and damaging the tip of the shaft in the column where the splines are. So I'm gonna see if I can use this to give it something solid to bite onto. I'm gonna grab the puller and get it threaded in there. Now we got the bolt out of the column. We got the steering wheel puller installed. I just have these loosely tightened down, so we have a tension on here holding the puller against the two bolts. Simple puller like everything else. Gonna thread this bolt in so it pulls this bracket out and pulls the whole wheel off in one unit. Got a little adapter in there that comes with the puller kit, so we press against the face of the column shaft and not directly on the splines. It fits actually through the steering wheel splines itself and touches the column, so the bolt isn't going in, the main bolt of the puller I should say, isn't going in and damaging the snout of the column. ahead off camera and installed the windshield, the new cowl pieces, and the wipers. Got all that taken care of, and we also got all the trim moldings back on the sides of the windshield and along the roof here, all the way back. The new moldings are all installed. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the rear glass installed so I can finally actually wash this thing, get all the dust off of it from it been sitting. I'm going to get new bead of urethane put on here. I've already got the glass primer put on, and I'm going to get primer put on the rear glass itself over there, and then I'm going to get it installed on the vehicle. I've left the trunk off for easier access to getting the glass in here without it overlapping, and then once the glass is set in place, I will be installing the trunk tonight as well, hopefully. And then once that's done, the body portion of this rebuild will be complete. Guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. We got everything on the body of the SRT-4 completely done. Got the trunk on, got both windshields installed, front and rear, and everything is put back together. So for now, everything's going to go on pause for a little bit. I'm waiting on a couple parts that I need to be able to finally put this thing on the road. I got a new set of front lower control arms coming in from the dealer, and then I'm going to reseal the diff cover in the front because I do have that tiny leak in there that I mentioned a couple videos prior. So until those parts come in, I'm going to be waiting to get this thing on the road, and once they come in, we'll do a final video putting those parts in and taking it for its first actual test drive. So if you guys liked this video or found it helpful or interesting, please feel free to share it with a friend, like the video, drop a comment down below if there's anything else you'd like to see on the car, and if there's anybody that you know that likes Mopars or SRT-4 builds in general. As always, you guys, thank you so much for watching and have an awesome day.